She called me an unqualified idiot. Now I'm 2 levels above her. This is the story of how a toxic manager almost broke me, until fate handed me the sweetest revenge of my life. If you've ever had a nightmare boss or dreamed of seeing karma in action, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready, because this one's going to hit deep. After my husband and I were both laid off, we were desperate. We were behind on bills, skipping meals, and barely holding on to our mortgage. So when I got a job offer, even though it was a step down, I said yes. Immediately. At first it wasn't so bad. My manager Gary seemed great. The team was nice. Felt like maybe, just maybe, we were catching a break. But then came Jane. Gary was too busy, so he basically offloaded me onto her. My role was supposed to be a bridge between teams. But Jane treated me like her personal assistant. She micromanaged everything. She made me work through lunch. Canceled my vacation. Called me at 11 p.m. on weekends. And then came the personal attacks. You're surprisingly big for your race. I don't know how someone like you got hired. I started writing it all down. The list of slights got so long it filled 3 pages. Now here's the thing, I didn't take her crap quietly. I spoke up. Called her out. And that just made her nastier. But I couldn't quit. Because we needed the money. So I stayed. And it slowly broke me down. One Friday she exploded at me, over a tiny mistake. I'd left one of her team members off a meeting invite. Someone I didn't even know existed. She stormed to my desk, slammed her hand down, and shouted, "Are you stupid or just incompetent?" What she didn't know was, I was grieving a recent family tragedy. That moment broke me. I ran to the bathroom and cried harder than I had in years. The next day I told Gary everything. And you know what? He wasn't even surprised. "Half her team has already quit," he said. He transferred me under his supervision, and I thought, finally, some relief. But Jane? She wasn't done. Even from another team she kept coming. Emails. Instructions. Petty drama. One day she came to my desk and said, loudly, "You don't belong here. Everyone knows you're not qualified." Gary overheard. He snapped. Told her off in front of everyone. But it didn't stop. 2 months later, I quit. Wrote my resignation letter, stapled those 3 pages of her insults to it, and CC'd everyone. Gary begged me to stay. Offered flexibility. Options. But I told him, the only way I stay is if Jane goes. He sighed. Her manager's overseas. I don't have the power. So I walked out, head high, no shame, and left the truth behind in inboxes across the company. Life got worse before it got better. There were nights we only had bread for dinner. We dealt with a health crisis. And a funeral. My husband finally found a job, but we were still drowning in debt. I applied to 5, sometimes 20 jobs a day. Nothing. Then one day I saw a familiar name pop up in a company announcement. A big shot executive, someone I'd worked with for years, was joining the very company I had just left. So I texted him. "Congrats. Let me know if you need any insights on the place." He called me immediately. We talked for a bit and I shared some thoughts on company culture and where things could improve. Then he said something that stopped me cold. "I want you to come in as my chief of staff." I blinked. Then cried. He knew my value. My work. My character. After everything I'd been through, I was coming back. Not just back, above. 2 levels above Jane. At the all-hands meeting, every VP and above was there. Jane included. Big Shot introduced his new team. And joining me is my new chief of staff. He gestured to me. I stood up. And Jane's jaw hit the floor. She stared like she'd seen a ghost. No smile. No fake congratulations. Just panic. But oh, it gets better. A few days later, Big Shot forwarded me an email from Jane. She'd written a nasty message. Called me an unqualified idiot. Said I used to work for her. Accused me of lying to get ahead. She didn't even try to be subtle. Big Shot asked, "What's this about?" So I told him. Everything. The abuse. The resignations. The evidence. The 3-page document I'd left behind, which was still on my old desktop. And then, other employees came forward. Emails. Testimonies. Even Gary backed me up. By Friday, Jane was gone. Fired. Like that. I didn't gloat. I didn't celebrate. I just exhaled. The woman who humiliated me, tried to destroy me, was gone. Because karma doesn't rush. Sometimes it waits. And when it hits, it's perfect. If there's one thing this taught me, it's that your value isn't defined by people who can't see it. The same people who step on you on the way up might be bowing when you pass them on your way back down. So keep going. Even if it hurts. Even if it's hopeless. Keep going. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and drop a comment below. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And of course, subscribe for more real stories where karma hits hard. Thanks for listening.